everyone, welcome to Module 4 of the 7th to 8th grade video series. Today we're going to be tackling introduction. So this is one of the trickiest parts in essay writing, and it's specifically talking about how we can give our readers the right amount of context and also explain why our essay matters and also lead them smoothly right into our thesis. So before we begin, make sure to follow along with our 7th to 8th grade video series worksheet, which is on our website, and there are follow along notes for that for this video as well as practice prompts there as well. So first, when we think about introductions, we have to think about our reader. So when someone reads your essay, think about what do they need to know in order to understand your argument. And this is what we call our orienting information. So basically giving your reader enough background information so that your thesis makes sense. And one key point you guys should note is that you don't have to summarize everything right away, right? That detailed information comes later in the bulk of your essay. For now, you're just giving your reader enough to follow your thesis. Next, let's talk about why your essay matters. So this is often called explaining what's at stake. Your readers need a reason to care about your argument. So when you're thinking about what makes your argument unique or what gives it value, we can think about, is your essay answering a question that doesn't have an obvious answer? Are you proposing a solution to a problem that's tricky or complex? And are you pointing out something that others might have missed or something that changes how we think about a phenomenon or a source or an idea? And if your answer is yes on any of those, that can be what makes your essay worth writing, but you also need to show your readers why you care. So your introduction should take your reader through a short version of your thinking process. So frame the problem or question and explain why you're exploring it or why it's worth exploring. And then finally, the last part is your thesis. So this is the heart of your essay. This is what you're arguing, and everything in your introduction should be building towards it. For example, giving enough context for your reader to be able to follow your thesis, explaining why your matters and what's at stake, and 3, leading naturally into your thesis statement. So that's everything in your introduction. And you should really think about your introduction as guiding your friend through your thought process, showing them the problem, why it matters, and then telling them your answer, which is your thesis. So now let's talk about specific should and shouldn'ts about what your introduction should and shouldn't do. So it should definitely give specific context. So make sure, again, your reader has enough information to understand your essay topic, but be careful and focus on the context that only matters for your argument. Second, be concise. So your introduction should be clear and to the point. You shouldn't be overwhelming your reader with tons of background information right away. And the third thing is your essay or your introduction should build excitement. So make sure to hook your reader, show why your essay matters, what's interesting, what's surprising about it, why is it worth arguing about. And for shouldn'ts, you should avoid very general opening sentences. So what I mean by that is like, since the dawn of time, people have been telling stories. That's very broad. That's too broad, right? It doesn't show why your topic matters. It doesn't add anything to the audience's, to the reader's perspective. And it's frankly just taking up space. Second, don't use a funnel method, which is general to specific. So this is kind of building on the first point. Starting super broad and then narrowing down your thesis, again, usually creates waste space and doesn't help your reader understand your argument. The third thing is just avoid beginning with the dictionary term. So don't start with something like democracy is defined as, unless your reader truly needs to know the definition. And if it's that complicated that your reader needs to know the definition, you should probably define it later in your essay. And the fourth thing is you should avoid offering too much detail. So again, this is just an introduction. Don't overload your introduction with points or evidence. We should really be saving that meat of the essay for the body paragraphs. So now we're going to take a look at the analysis of a strong introduction. So the first sentence, if you read, it talks about black cats. And the first sentence is a hook, right? It grabs your attention by giving a specific, intriguing fact. So instead of starting super broad, like people have superstitions about animals, it's very specific, right? It tells a story about King Charles I. In the next sentence, the essay gives broader context about black cats being seen as both good luck and bad luck, and this helps the reader really understand the context before we launch them straight into the essay's argument. And then lastly, we see the thesis, which is essentially a roadmap for the essay, and this really tells the reader what to expect, so they know the essay will explain the history of superstition and also argue that it's outdated today. So writing introductions is pretty difficult, but practice will always help make your writing stronger and more effective. So therefore, we've provided practice prompts available on our website for you guys to really practice writing your own introductions. As always, thank you guys for watching this video series, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.